Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to SoCom Shop. So, I am celebrating today because guess what? You have given me this incredible gift. Um, SoCom Shop's YouTube has reached 10,000 views. I don't even know how to process this. Like 10,000 views. So, this is a huge thank you to you all because I can't even process it. I'm so amazed and so excited. Okay, so what are we doing today to celebrate? We're doing something that I have envisioned for a really long time. My kid watches this show called Mysteries of Erebos, I think. And one of the characters has this little book satchel that they have. And I have thought that that would be amazing for so long. Okay, wait. How to do this? Okay, so if I'm going to need like a clasp, and then I'm going to need it to connect, and then I'm going to need like a strap. And how's the strap going to go? Can this be... I have this material from the quilt that I'm working on that my grandma started for me. Could this work? Let's see. Yeah. Let me measure it on my shoulder. Yeah, that could be perfect. And I can make it a little shorter if needed. So if I put this like here, if you have not read the author Octavia Butler, she is her books are extraordinary. She has passed away. Like Afrofuturism, science fiction, queer, just outstanding, incredible. Highly recommend. Okay, so if this is, and does it need to be adjustable? Because not all books. So yeah, maybe it needs to have like a few button options. And then attach this onto here. Does that make sense? Let's just try it. And then I brought some of this lace to put like a ruffle on it if I feel like it. Okay, let's try it. So we'll put the straps there. And then, yeah, how to make it adjustable. So I don't even know what to say other than I'm in shock. I'm in shock. I cannot believe that 10,000 humans, or at least in 10,000 moments, a human wanted to connect with and hang out with me while I was sewing and talking about randomness. And I just feel blown away. I feel so grateful and so much less alone, and I really hope that it has brought something positive to your life, and I would be so thrilled to keep doing this. I mean, what's amazing about this world is that YouTube, I can just keep doing this, right? There is no one to stop me unless YouTube dies. I can just keep doing this, and I am so happy, and it has brought it's been so much fun, and I have plenty of things that are not super fun in my life, and to have something where I really feel like it's fun, it's meaningful, I'm feeling less alone, I'm feeling like, I do watch TV, but sometimes when, especially I have 50-50 custody of my 11-year-old, and when he is with his other mom, I can feel sort of like unmoored. Like, what am I supposed to be doing? And there comes a point where you are too tired to do like work, and I have been reading so much about how creativity is. Oh, maybe I should have tucked this edge. That's alright, because I'm going to put some lace on it so it won't show. Yeah, that creativity is just so healing and so wonderful for our lives. I learned this really fascinating model yesterday in the class that I'm taking. So the one is called the Karpman drama triangle. And the concept is that a lot of human relationships get stuck in this like victim, persecutor, rescuer. So at any given point, you're playing one of those roles. And boy, have I experienced that. And that all of those roles are like disempowering. So none of them is actually helpful. And then there's this reverse of it, which I'm not going to remember who created it, but it's called like the empowerment dynamic, TED. And the empowerment dynamic reverses it and says, instead of being the persecutor or seeing someone as the persecutor, you can see them as the challenger. And instead of being the victim or seeing someone as the victim, you can see them as the creator. And instead of being, let me just think for a minute. We're going to put this one on this side. Instead of being the, what's the last one? Instead of being the rescuer, which is disempowering and keeps people stuck in the victim mindset, you can be the coach. So you say, what can you do with this challenge versus how can I save you, right? And then seeing that as a challenge rather than like a persecution where you're just like stuck and never going to be able to get out, then you can do the creative work of being like, okay, this is something that I don't like or I don't want in my life, and how can I get out of it? And I don't want to make it that simple because, you know, systemic racism and patriarchy and hetero sexism, you know, all of that, and ableism and fat phobia and all of the stuff, right? All those systems of oppression, those do make it extremely challenging to get out of suffering. And what I think, you know, I actually do think that the like focus on being a victim can keep us more stuck in that. So like, for example, I don't have the knowledge at this point of how to make a full-time living from sewing, right? I don't know how to pay my bills with sewing. I may learn that in the future. There's certainly other humans who have done that on the planet. It's not impossible, but at this point I don't know how to do it. So for a lot of years, I avoided it. Is this recording? 1 second. And ever since I had that one where it wasn't recording yesterday, I've had a fear that I'm doing that again. Okay, so yeah, so just because I don't know how, haven't known how, I have avoided doing it, right? So I've just been like, oh, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not going to be able to do it. I hate my job, but oh well, right? I'm stuck. That stuckness. And creativity is like the opposite of stuckness. So I do think that it, even if it doesn't change your circumstance, taking me as an example, I'm still doing my regular job that I don't like. But this has somehow like offset my frustration with that, and given me energy that I didn't have. Okay, so I think buttons are hard. What is an alternative to a button? I saw someone do something very interesting with a hairband, but I don't think I have a hairband. Although, hold on one second, I'll be right back. Okay, well this is the problem with collecting too many. Sorry if you couldn't hear me. This is the problem with having collected too many scraps. I had like, you know, on the inside of a bathing suit that's shorts where it has that like mesh liner with some elastic. I had some of that, but I can't find it. So maybe I'll make some sort of a strap that will just, you know, not be stretchy, but maybe, and a big button. A couple big buttons. I don't know. Let's measure. This I feel like is a pretty standard size book. What could you do? I know what you could do. Have you ever seen those, like, I don't know how to explain it. They're like, you wrap it all the way around and then, okay, let me cut it this way actually. And you make it long and then you tie, like a tie. Boy, that's a lot of shreddies. Okay, so make it like a couple of these. See, this is where my brain is doing this creative problem solving, and this doesn't happen in my monotonous work day. And I think this is where, if you give your brain this energy, it's like when kids are building forts outside, right? If you give your brain time to practice this kind of energy, it makes sense that it would be better at solving any of life's problems, and that it would just feel good, right? So I feel like there's something to just spending a little bit of time doing something like this creative. Now, clearly, I'm not doing something like skillful, right? What's the bummer is I feel like this is gonna maybe end up covering up a lot of these cute flowers, but that's all right. It'll still be cute. I'm not amazingly skilled at any of this, right? But what's happening is my brain is like, oh, what could I do here? What could I do here? And because of that, I'm not spending time thinking about how I'm going to solve this situation at my kid's school, or how I'm going to get this thing done without making my ex upset, or how am I going to ever buy a house, or how am I going to, you know, am I ever going to have a partner again? All these things. You know, what am I going to do about my family relationships? It's like I could spend a lot of time worrying about the future and feeling really guilty about the past. But if I can give myself a 30-minute break from that and make something fun and feel a little bit less alone, I just think that there's a lot of merit to it. And it would make sense. I mean, I have felt happier since I have started this. And not because I've had, you know, views or followers. That has been really fun. Just have to tell you, I'm still shocked about the 10,000 thing. But because it has just been fun. It's been so fun. And it's completely not about like me having to be a good mom, or me having to be a good worker, or me having to be a good co-parent, or me having to, it's not about any of my roles, which I think also takes me out of the like codependency trap of only having value if the people around me that I'm serving are happy, because it's like, oh, this is not about making people happy. And I'm sure some people, could worry about like impressing whoever's going to watch this, but I'm pretty clear that nobody's going to waste their time looking at this unless they actually want to. So I feel like I can trust you all to just walk away if you don't like what I'm saying or doing. But yeah, it just has felt so phenomenal. And to wake up in the morning and have that sort of like, oof, this thing is happening that I need to worry about, or this thing is happening today that I'm nervous about. And then also, I'm not saying those thoughts are gone. I'm just saying also, I have the thought, ooh, maybe I'll make a video about this. Or like when I'm listening to a podcast, I'm like, oh, maybe I can sew this about that. Or even just now, I really thought I was going to make a video about this Ram Dass talk that I heard and really liked. But then as I sat down and was going to grab some fabric, I was like, actually, maybe I'll make, and I saw this zipper and I was like, maybe I'll make a little bag. And then I was like, what shape should the bag be? And then I was like, actually, I want to make that book bag I've been wanting from that show. And it's like, that level of playful, like, creativity, like, no one can tell me I'm doing it right or wrong. I'm just playing. I think that is so powerful and so good for the soul. And if nothing else, it is making me feel really good. I'm just amazed. Like I said, there is plenty to still worry about, and I have not solved the world's problems. I will tell you, I did something I was really just, it's a work in progress, but I was really happy to be a part of. It turned out that there was some counselors at our local middle school trying to convince kids to not be queer, and that is illegal in Massachusetts. And I know that it is, the opposite is illegal in most of the country right now, which is so, I live in one of 5 states where there's not anti-trans legislation right now, but in our state, it is, state educational laws require staff to support queer students. And so in our state, it is illegal. So I rallied together a bunch of people and went to speak at the school committee, and people have been organizing and gathering as a result, and they have been so amazing and supportive. And this morning, like over 100 people joined at the middle school with signs, and we put chalk drawings all over the sidewalk and to show our support to the students, and it was just so beautiful. And I thought, you know what? No matter what the people who are in charge say or do, no matter how bad our lives can get, it's those kind of things, when we really show up for each other and when we do something that's beautiful, it's just so powerful. And it reminds me, why we keep trying to human. Pretty incredible. All right. So, I've seen this, oops, I keep not tying my knots big enough for this fabric somehow. I've seen this on journals. Have you seen it? And it's like you wrap they're like usually like a leather journal that has like a leather cord, and then you wrap it around and tie the cord. You can do it that way, right? And then it would be fully adjustable, wouldn't it? other good news, 2 people bought the workshop. I can't believe it. And Lizzie, thank you to Lizzie, is one of them. And then the link, of course, didn't work for Lizzie, so I sent them directly. So if you buy it and it doesn't work, please email me and tell me. It's socomshop@gmail.com. And and I hope the other person it works for, I emailed them, and we'll see. Um, so I mean, I hope that it's enjoyable, certainly, but base level, it needs to work. So, but that was pretty awesome that 2 people already bought it. So please go check it out if you're interested. You can pay anywhere $5 and up, whatever is right for you. Of course, if you feel able, I would so appreciate any support you can give. But if $5 is what feels right for you, then that is totally great too. And then on the 22nd, I believe, whichever is the next Sunday, is gonna be our first Zoom call, and no one has signed up for that yet, but that's okay. That's a $5 a month membership on the Gumroad that's gonna be linked in the description. I think it'd be so fun to sew together, like actually in a Zoom call, and hear each other's voices or see each other's faces if you feel like being on camera, see each other's sewing projects. So if you're interested, please check it out. I think it'd be so fun. And then what else? You can buy just the workshop, but if you buy the $5, month membership thing, you get the workshop with that and the Zoom calls. And then also, I have up there an option to do like a one-on-one sewing call with me, sew and chat, and then also a one-on-one tarot reading, because I've been having fun with tarot lately. And I think it's a really interesting tool. And I just ordered some oracle cards too, which I think are fun. Could just feel like a little reassurance, a little encouragement along the way. Remember that we're not alone, whatever it is that you feel like is a higher power or an ancestor, or an angel, or guiding, spirit in your life, even if it's just your higher self, your inner wisdom. It can be the tarot cards and the oracle cards are just nice because you don't have to like totally think of it on your own, and you're less likely to be like, am I imagining that I'm getting this message? Because it can be confirmation sometimes. So yeah, so those are both on the Gumroad. That's linked below. And you can also get a free PDF, just a little bit about slow stitching, what's the history of it. For me, at the most basic, I feel like it just boils down to using a needle and thread to have a creative, mindful healing process. So many of us are recovering perfectionists, and that need to do something perfect has stopped so many of us from being creative, right? Because we don't know how to do it right, and we're scared of not doing it perfect, so we're just not going to pick up a needle and thread, not going to pick up the paintbrush, right? Not going to write a poem, when the truth is that there's no such thing as good art or bad art, good poems or bad poems, because to someone it meant something, and that meant for them it was the most beautiful. And it's healing doing the art. So it doesn't even matter if somebody else thinks it's good or if they get meaning out of it. It gives meaning to the artist, and that's of value. Okay. We're getting there on this, folks. Now, I think a lot of times about like, oh, my foot is going numb. 1 second, I situate. that like, check our time. Yeah, I gotta go. I think a lot of times like, oh, I could do that so fast on a sewing machine. Like making this little tie would have definitely taken 30 seconds on a sewing machine. But here are two things that I feel about sewing machines. I think they're great, but I think it's very loud, and the loudness of it is stressful to me, and it's like so fast that it's overwhelming to me and I feel like anxious. And it's very hard to take out stitches that are sewing machine stitched. And I make so many mistakes or change my mind so much when I'm sewing that I don't want to be stuck with having a really hard time getting those stitches out. And when you've used a sewing machine and you take the stitches out, the fabric's kind of screwed up. I don't know why it's so much more so than with a needle and thread hand stitching, but it is. So I know it would be faster, but I really like doing this. So, and it's not about fast to me. But if you want to use a sewing machine, then use a sewing machine. There's no rules. Okay, how long is this? This is not long enough. I do think we need one more. Okay, so I'm going to just do this one more and then we're going to go and I'll finish this up another time. I know that a lot of people do like, they'll speed up the video or they'll like edit it to cut out pieces so that you can see the finished thing. Maybe at some point I'll figure that out. But because I'm doing this just for joy, and I know that editing it would not be joy to me, that is why I'm not doing that. But if that changes at some point, I will get fancy, but I don't think it's in the cards for right now. Can you hear the little birds chirping? It's a very sweet spring day. All right, my loves. Let's put this. Okay, so we've got this part. Let's put it right here. Nope, not again. So at about the halfway point. I just love the color of this thread. All right. And let's try it out. I'm going to try it with an even fatter book to make sure that it works. This is one of my other favorite books right now. Maybe I'll read a little bit of it to you so that you can see it. It's called I Am That by Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, who was a teacher in India. Okay, so put the book here. I'll do it facing you. Put the little flap like this. Wrap this around. And tie it. Oh my gosh. And it's so cute. And then this will be the strap. Oh my god, I love it. Can you see that? You can't see that. Hold on one second. How can I do this? Will this work? No. One second. Can you see me? Sorry if that made you sick. I think maybe you can see me. Hold on. If you can't, well, we'll try it a different day. Okay, so then this for my little book carrier. And I could tie that, or I could make that into a little strap at some point. I love that, friends. It's not super fancy, but it's just half an hour of something fun. So cool. And it can be a prototype. Amazing. Okay, let me read you a little something. Let's do this. Put this back down. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is in the format of someone asks a question, and then Maharaj responds. Then what am I? It is enough to know what you are not. You do not need to know what you are. For as long as knowledge means description in terms of what is already known, perceptual or conceptual, there can be no such thing as self-knowledge. For what you are cannot be described, except as total negation. All you can say is, I am not this, or I am not that. You cannot meaningfully say, this is what I am. It just makes no sense. What you can point out as this or that cannot be yourself. Surely you cannot be something else. You are nothing perceivable or imaginable. Yet without you, there can be neither perception nor imagination. You observe the heart feeling, the mind thinking, the body acting. The very act of perceiving shows that you are not what you perceive. Can there be perception, experience without you? An experience must belong. Somebody must come and declare it as his own. Without an experiencer, the experience is not real. It is the experiencer that imparts reality to experience. An experience which you cannot have, of what value is it to you? So these are all so, I don't know what that means. I don't even quite understand the words even, but I think it is fun just to think about and just to let it wash over you. So thank you for joining me today once again. Thank you for the 10,000 views. Thank you for helping me brainstorm how to make this fun little book satchel. A good prototype. Not perfect, but fun. Okay, until next time, lots of love. Try to be as nice to yourself as you would be to a little puppy. Okay, talk to you soon.